Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. Super excited to share today's video with you because this is a big day for the Kringle Halloween people out there. Kringle is launching their 2023 Halloween collection tonight on their website. I will put a link in the description box down below. The candles are launching at 12:01 AM Eastern Standard Time, which for those of us on the West Coast is 9:01 PM. So I feel like us West Coast people are at a little bit of an advantage because maybe we're not going to be as tired as the East Coast people when they're ordering. I know some of you are not a fan of this particular release time because you work. And you should probably be in bed getting a good night's sleep before your workday tomorrow. But I think that the reason that Kringle picked this time is it's kind of like, I guess, the witching hour, if you will. But you know, this is the time that the candles are launching. I will put all of the information again in the description box down below. I will also put a discount code for you guys. You can use my discount code Melanie15 to save 15% off of these candles. They will not be on sale, and I can tell you just based off of previous years experiencing this Kringle Halloween collection, these sell out insanely quickly. You kind of need to be awake for the launch, especially for the more popular fragrances. There are some that may still well be available in the morning when you wake up, but there are no guarantees. So yeah, there's that. I know a lot of you are not a huge fan of that. It's kind of this more like, it feels like the Hunger Games style of shopping, right? Where like everyone is just going in all at once. And I do know there are a lot of people who unfortunately do purchase multiples to then be able to resell after. I do wish that companies could have something in place to prevent this, because it really should be like, you know, the true Kringle Halloween fans who should have the opportunity to really be able to, you know, kind of, I guess, have first dibs on these scents. And that being said, I myself am going to sit this sale out because while it was insanely generous, and I am so thankful to be able to review these candles for you guys, as I've told you many times before, I am a lover of fall fragrance in general, but I've never been a huge Halloween person. I did not grow up with Halloween being a big deal in my house because, well, for the first 10 years of my life, I didn't even live in this country, and my country of origin at that time did not celebrate, we didn't know what Halloween was. So I'm still kind of ambivalent about this, I guess you could say, holiday, if you will. But that being said, I do know that the Kringle Halloween people get so excited about this, and I'm just really happy for this particular launch because I know there are so many scents that you guys are looking forward to. So I'm going to leave them to you guys, despite the fact that there are actually a couple of scents in here that I really truly would actually love to have backups of. Not for the label, not for the Halloween factor, but because I actually really love the fragrances. And if they are still available a couple days after the launch, at that point I will go in and I will swoop in and pick up a couple of the ones that I would really personally just love to have backups of to be able to burn during the fall months. So anyway, be sure to check the description box. I will be updating that if anything changes about the release time or anything like that. But if you guys are shopping this sale or this release, happy shopping. I hope that you get everything that you want, and I'm really excited to hear your guys' takes on these fragrances after you have the opportunity to experience them. So please come back to this video and let me know your thoughts after you receive your packages. So this video and the reviews will be a little bit different in how I normally do these. I'm cramming them all into this video. That means it will likely be be longer, I will put timestamps in the description box down below. If you would like to skip to your favorite fragrance, you can certainly do that. And just kind of skip around the video if that's what works best for you. But I'm just kind of going to grab them at random. The only one that will be lit is the first one, which is It's Evil. But yeah, I normally like to give these each their own moment, but because we're on a time crunch with these candles releasing this evening, we have to do it this way. All right, without further ado, I made some notes in my little notebook here, so I'm going to be reading off of that. I will tell you that I have burned each of these candles on at least 4 separate occasions for a minimum of 2.5 to 3 hours each time. I am very confident in letting you know that the overall performance in terms of the wicks and the wax was flawless, and I expect it to continue to be flawless for the remainder of the candles, only because I'm so familiar with the soy formula now and it never futzes out on me. This soy formula is incredible, and if you are looking for some Kringle powerhouse candles, boy, do I have some recommendations for you. So without further ado, let's get started with It's Evil. I am going to go ahead and read you guys the fragrance notes as I did in the first video, except this time I will tell you what actually came out once these candles were lit, and we'll talk strength and throw, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, It's Evil. Obviously, we have what I'm assuming is a little clown child here. Oh God, terrifying. Little children, I think, are, for the most part, pure sweetness, but man, my daughter could be a little creepy as a little kid as well. So this particular picture makes me very uncomfortable. All right, It's Evil. The top notes are pastry and spice, the mid notes are butter and caramel, and the base is almond and vanilla. Listen, you guys, this is one of those scents that I really actually love. This is a really beautiful gourmand, and in my eyes, it does not really fit with the name or the label of this candle at all, but man, is it a great scent. So this to me has some of the same kind of notes that are found in Jelly Donut. I was actually talking with Brett a little bit, and he was mentioning that he definitely gets some of the same vibes as well from Jelly Donut in the It's Evil. That being said, they are not the same scent. I feel like it's the pastry note that is shared between the two. I do pick up a touch of spice in here, but it's not an overly spicy candle, so if you are nervous about that, I can tell you that it's just a very kind of faint background of maybe like a touch of nutmeg, a slight touch of cinnamon, but it's not spicy. So don't read spice into that at all. The mid notes of butter and caramel are very much present. I'm so happy to report that the caramel does not overpower this fragrance. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of caramel. As much as I love sweet scents, as much as I love gourmands, caramel is a tough fragrance note for me, and a lot of times when I see it in the descriptions of candles or wax melts, I'm just immediately like, I don't know about this. It often comes across as very cloying and heavy to me. It's not in here. It's light. It adds sweetness. You have the touch of like the warmth that you get with caramel, but in the most pleasant way possible. Really actually a delightful scent. And yeah, the caramel is done right in here. The base of the almond and vanilla are definitely present, and I am very happy to say that the almond note that I see is very similar to my beloved Scentsy Almond Croissant, which is a now discontinued scent from Scentsy, but I do have it in my club. It smells just like the almond croissant note that I pick up in that particular wax melt bar, and I love it. And the vanilla just adds like that touch of, again, creaminess to this scent. This is fabulous. And if it did not have this label, I think this would just be the most lovely gourmand. I mean, if they had like some almond croissants in a coffee shop or something on this label, I feel like it would sell like hotcakes. This is a great scent, you guys. And even if you're not into Halloween, I would consider this one. Although if you could just maybe leave 1 or 2 for me, that'd be fabulous. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch these out. Oh, the strength in the throw. Wait, come back, my friend, but the most important part. All right, so this falls more in line with the typical strength and throw for the Kringle Candles, which is a solid medium. The strength of this, I'm gonna put at about like a 6, 6.5. The throw, I'm just gonna put at a solid 6. It really does tend to stay a little bit more within the area where I'm burning it, but it does travel just a touch. So there we go. All right, now she's lit, so I have to be a little bit more careful with this one. The next ones we don't have to be quite as careful with. All right, I'm just gonna grab and we'll see what we get. Oh yes, my favorite, 7 days. Listen, ring girl here, still creeping me out, but let me tell you something about this scent. We're gonna go through the fragrance notes. You are going to be insanely surprised by how I feel about this candle after burning it, because just smelling it on cold sniff, I was like, yeah, definitely not in my wheelhouse. And she's technically still not in my wheelhouse, but I actually somewhat enjoyed this one. I know, it's, who am I? What am I doing here? Okay, top notes, dewy greens and herbaceous leaves. The mid notes are apple blossom, jasmine blooms, mint leaf and thyme. The base is cedarwood, patchouli, geranium, and musk. Yeah, you guys, this is not a terrible scent. That being said, it really does smell very earthy, very like organic in terms of like organic soil matter. So decaying herbaceous leaves are present. I pick up a lot of thyme in this scent. Like the thyme note just, it kind of screams at me. Dewy greens, not so much. I don't smell dewy greens here. And these floral notes of apple blossom and jasmine blooms, I think what I'm getting here is like, as those are dying and decaying, like you do get like kind of a sweet floral from this, but it's not a fresh sweet floral. It really does come across as slightly like, I don't know, decaying in its presentation. Let's get to the real fragrance notes here, because the base of the cedarwood, patchouli, geranium, and musk is really mostly where it's at for me here. And those kind of mix with the herbaceous leaves and that kind of like dirt or soil type note, and it just makes it really interesting. I think I'm just fascinated by the scent overall, because I expected to just absolutely hate it after I lit it, but I don't hate the scent. Do I love it? No, but I actually kind of like it. Would I purchase more of this? No, it's not in my wheelhouse, and quite frankly, this broad on here is freaking me out, but it's not a bad scent, you guys. Now, you really do have to like a more earthy, organic, tough kind of fragrance. Ooh, I'm sticking my nose in it. And by the way, this one smells, so it smells a little bit different from Cold Sniff in that when you light this one up, all of those notes just get warmer. And I think that's what makes them more palatable to me. On Cold Sniff, this just smells like dirt and thyme mostly. Definitely some patchouli in there, and the patchouli that's in here does lean a little bit more like dirty hippie patchouli. That being said, this is incredibly well done for what it is. I'm gonna give you guys a look inside of the candle here so you can see the wicks. Now, I did trim these wicks in preparation for subsequent burns, so it's ready to go. I have a couple here where I did not trim the wicks so that you could see the wicks untrimmed. I'm gonna give the strength of this one about a 7. So it's quite potent for what it is. And I'm gonna put the throw at a little bit more of like a 6.5, 7. This one doesn't travel a whole lot. That being said, I burned it in an interesting location. I burned it in my office. Now I do have double doors into my office, and one of the double doors always stays shut. So it didn't really have much of a chance to travel. This could travel a little bit more if I had it out in the more like open concept areas of our home. That being said, this one, I don't know what I would really pair this with. So it would be one of those like room specific type of scents for me. So hopefully that's helpful with this one. You might get a little bit more oomph out of it in an open concept area, but it stayed pretty contained for me for the most part. It certainly wafted out of the like open door that I had. But not enough to where it was really starting to mingle with some of the other scents. That being said, I'm gonna put this in the solid medium performance category here. And the burn was, as you can see, flawless. There are no problems with the wicks. There are no problems with the wax. All right, next, let's grab, okay. We are about to head into powerhouse territory here. First, I'll show you the wicks. So you can see you do need to trim these wicks. Basically what I do is just take off those little mushroom tops there, and then they are good to go. Sorry, the camera's a little bit blurry. We're discussing Halloween. Listen, we're not even gonna start with like the overall description here. We're gonna go straight to strength and throw, which is like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 in terms of strength, and a solid 8 in terms of throw. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that for me, Kringle Candles have a solid medium performance. They typically don't go above an 8, and I'm okay with that. But this one here is a pure powerhouse. This basically filled the entirety of the downstairs of my house. It played really well with a few of the other Halloween scents, but this is going to be your like major powerhouse. Now I have another one that is very, very close behind this one, and we'll get to that one next. But oh man, was I blown away by this one, you guys. What a friggin' monster. All right, we're gonna go through the fragrance notes now. We know she's a powerhouse, but let's talk about what I smell here. Why do I keep losing I have the fragrance notes on my phone, so I'm kind of like, it's a mess behind the scenes. All right, our top notes are black licorice, anise, and fennel. And the mid notes are clove, cinnamon, and nutmeg. The base is musk, cedarwood, sweet, tonka, and vanilla. All right, so what are you predominantly smelling here? For sure, it's those top notes. Listen, the black licorice is the most predominant. You really do have to have a little bit of a fancy for the black licorice to probably enjoy this one, because that licorice is potent. It is quite potent. The anise, I love that star anise note in here. It really, I feel like, helps to support the black licorice and makes it a little bit more interesting. And that fennel, while it sounds like kind of an odd addition, it works. It has this like almost like savory, to me fennel is, it's like a savory herb, right? It has this savoriness to this that just plays so interestingly with the sweetness of the black licorice. Like, this scent is so fascinating to me. It really is an interesting one. I did not expect to like have this one grow on me the way that it has, but I really like this scent. You guys, this is one of those that blew me away. I don't get much in the way of clove, cinnamon, and nutmeg. I mean, it's present, but you really kind of almost have to search for it. Now, in terms of the base notes, I do pick up that tonka, and I do get that like quote unquote sweet that's in here. The sweet, I think, again, helps to support the black licorice note, and I think actually makes it a little bit more palatable. I do pick up that little hint of musk in here, not much in the way of cedarwood. That being said, those are just the notes that are sticking out to my nose. You might pick up the clove and cinnamon a little bit more than I do, but to me, they're almost non-existent. Really, the black licorice kind of overtakes this one in a good way because it's done quite well. And again, it's a powerhouse if you are looking to really fragrance your house. And just for reference, if this is one of your first videos with me, we live in a house that was built in the early 2000s. It's very open concept. It has very high ceilings in the downstairs. And so really candles tend to do a lot better if they are in a larger format in my particular home. And this is a 2-wick Kringle and it filled the downstairs. That's wild to me. It's really hard for a Kringle to do that, and this one did it. And that's why I'm stressing that, because it is not the norm. And oh man, do I wish all Kringles were this powerful? Yes. I'm waiting for more of those multi-wick candles. By the way, there are 3 wicks that are coming out in this collection as well. I will quickly read through those when we get to that point. All right. Oh, and here it is, the second powerhouse. Are you guys ready? Take a guess on what it is. Leave it down below in the comments. Oh, it's just so good. All right. It's Coven. And thank you to those of you who told me that the movie that I was thinking of was actually The Craft. Yeah, for some reason I thought the name of the movie had something to do with Coven, but no, it was The Craft. Let's go ahead and start with the fragrance notes here. Top is cinnamon leaf and lemon flower. The base is lily of the valley, jasmine, and patchouli. The base is musk, sandalwood, vanilla, and guaiac wood. All right, listen. This is a perfumey scent. It is a powdery perfumey scent. I'm not sure where the powder here is coming from. It's very interesting to me. I don't really pick up the top notes at all in this one. My nose kind of goes to the mid notes of the jasmine, the lily of the valley, and the patchouli. This is definitely a floral for sure. The lily of the valley is a little bit more prominent than the jasmine, but they are both really beautiful floral notes. The patchouli is more of the, again, perfumey patchouli, not the earthy, dirty, hippie patchouli that we smelled in, was it 7 Days, I believe. This one here it's much more sophisticated and beautiful. And those base notes of musk and sandalwood, as well as the vanilla, I absolutely pick up. I have to admit that I'm not as familiar with the guaiac wood. I hope that I'm even pronouncing that correctly. I may not be. I have not had a ton of home fragrance or even personal fragrance that has had that particular note in it before, so I'm not as familiar with it. But maybe, could it be that that is what's giving me a little bit of a powderiness? I'm not sure. But I love this. I want this as a perfume. I want to wear this. This to me is a beautiful bedroom scent. I would not myself equate this with Halloween at all. If you put a blindfold on me and asked me to smell this and then asked me like what season I would put this fragrance in, I would almost say spring, because of the floral notes that are so prominent to me, but it's just pretty, you guys. If you're looking for something that is a little bit different in terms of a Halloween fragrance, this one here is gonna be it. I like the label. It's not super creepy, but just kind of creepy enough to give you like that Halloween vibe. I do love the color palette. It certainly works well with my pedestal here. By the way, if you're going to ask me about this candle pedestal, it is from Homeworx. It might still be available. If it is, I will link it in the description box down below. But yeah, this scent here for me is definitely one of the top 2 in terms of I love it. And if there's any left over, I might be getting some more because, oh man, is it lovely. It is so lovely. So big fan. Oh, strength throw. Yeah, we're gonna put this one at like almost an 8 in terms of strength. In fact, I would actually give it an 8. This one also pretty much wanted to fill the entirety of the downstairs of the house, so I'm gonna put the throw at an 8 as well. I would not suggest burning Coven and Halloween at the same time. I was burning them at the same time, and they were really kind of fighting each other, and they are just so different in terms of their fragrance profiles that it doesn't really work. But if you light one in the morning and one in the afternoon, you know, definitely go for it that way. But if you're looking to fill your house, Coven is another option for that. And I'll show you the overall burn quality here, so you can see no issues. There's no sooting. There's no... I just want to wear this one, you guys. That needs to come back next year. If it doesn't, I might be kind of huffy about it. All right, sorry. Grabbing another one down here. Okay, this is another one that I really like, and the label on this one I think is actually kind of sweet. I mean, it does look a little creepy, but this to me is like the type of Halloween label that maybe I gravitate towards a little bit more. Maybe it's a little bit more palatable, if you will, not quite as creepy or scary. Yeah, I know it does bother some people that I'm reviewing these Halloween candles, because I've shared before that I'm not really a Halloween person. I am a fall fanatic overall, but Halloween has never really been a big deal in our house. It wasn't when I was growing up, because I didn't even have Halloween for the first 10 years of my life. So it's just a little bit different for me because of that. But I totally get your guys' excitement for it. But in terms of like, you know, creepiness factor, I lean a little bit more towards less creepy Halloween versus like super scary, like horror Halloween labels. All right, we have Trick or Treat, and this one here is just top notch in terms of being a fabulous apple scent. So the top notes are poison apple, green, aldehydic, oh gosh, why am I screwing this up? Aldehydic. I'm going with aldehydic. People love to correct me, so please correct me. In the comments down below. Fir and marine. The mid is pine, cinnamon, and clove, and the base is sandalwood, musk, cedarwood, guaiac wood again, as well as moss. Sorry, I'm just gonna stick my nose into the lid here because this one is so delicious, you guys. The first thing that I smell is that beautiful apple note. It's kind of an interesting apple because it has a little bit of tartness to it. So it kind of is the combination for me personally of like a Granny Smith, that really tart green apple note, combined with a more sweet, almost Honeycrisp type apple note. I like this apple a lot. It's so good. In terms of that aldehydic note, there we go, aldehydic. I think I'm saying it right now. I'm not really sure that I picked that up, to be perfectly honest. But the fir note I do. So fir as in like fir trees, you know, like in the forest. Marine, I do not pick anything remotely marine in this candle at all, but the pine, I do smell the pine. So that fir and pine note are absolutely present. It kind of reminds me of Bath & Body Works Autumn, where they pair the apple with kind of like those balsam type notes. It's a great combination, and it works in this one for sure. I pick up a touch of cinnamon and I pick up a touch of clove. It does have those classic fall spices. And the base notes of sandalwood, musk, cedarwood, guaiac wood, and moss really are not super present to me. Honestly, to me, this comes across as more of a really fresh, bright apple and tree note type scent than anything else. I like this one a lot, and this is another one where like I could totally see myself burning this in September. September to me is really the only month where I really enjoy apple scents, and this one here will be gone during the month of September because I absolutely adore it. And so far, Bath & Body Works has not come out with autumn yet. I hope they're not planning on doing away with that, because I would love. All right, friends, sorry about that little interruption there. This is a longer video, like I mentioned, so bear with me. My camera just cut me off. So I would really love to burn this alongside autumn because I think the two fragrances would complement each other really beautifully. So anyway, this one here is another big fat winner in my book. The strength and the throw of this one, we're going back to a little bit more of like that classic Kringle solid medium throw. So the strength of this one I'm gonna put at about a 7. The throw I will put like at about a 6.5. I wish it traveled a little bit further than it does, but you know, it's right in line with what I'm used to, so I wouldn't consider this a dud or anything like that. It performs just like the vast majority of the Kringle 2-wick candles do. I'm a fan. I love it, and if there's any left over, I want some more for sure. So let's head to the very last one, and it's another one of the favorites. So Sinister. There are those wicks. Again, I have not trimmed these wicks, so I would definitely trim those mushroom tops off. Listen, this one here, I love this. And I want more. This is so lovely, you guys. The label, not so lovely, but the scent, oh, it's so good, you guys. All right, let's get into it. The top notes are ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom. The mid notes are Moscato wine, dark plum, and cranberries. The base is vanilla, amber, coconut, and musk. Get out of here with how beautiful this is. This to me is actually, it's a fantastic summertime scent. I kind of think that I'm just gonna keep burning this because it's fabulous in the month of August right now. What I get from this predominantly, you guys, are those berry notes of the berry notes, what am I saying? The plum and the cranberry notes, followed by that like sweet Moscato wine. Now this doesn't smell boozy. I don't want to imply that this is a boozy fragrance at all. It's not. You're not gonna like smell wine in here, but you're getting like that non-alcoholic like sweetness from the wine, if you will. I do pick up vanilla in here, and I do get that really beautiful touch of amber. But what I don't get a ton of is the ginger, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and the cardamom. Really, this comes across as much fruitier to my nose, which is interesting. I didn't expect it to present this way, but I really, really like it a lot. By the way, this one looks pretty cool when it's lit because the black glow behind that robed figure there kind of almost like illuminates, and it looks super creepy, especially at night. This one kind of freaked Stella out a little bit when she first saw it. But this to me is a fruity scent, and it is done so well, you guys. The strength and the throw are also fabulous. The strength of this one is almost an 8. I'm gonna put it at about a 7.5. It's a little bit stronger than some of the other ones that I mentioned that were just like the solid medium performers. The throw I'm gonna put right at about like a 7.5 as well. It travels pretty decently. But overall, I just think that this one is like a rock star fragrance just in its own right, and the performance has been pretty darn fantastic. I don't have any complaints about these Halloween scents personally, and I think so many of you are really going to love these. They're very interesting. A lot of them are not what I was expecting, especially based off of the labels, and I'm just so pleasantly surprised, I guess you could say. Now that being said, some of the other scents might be much more in line with that like creepy type of Halloween type fragrance. So I'm only sharing my thoughts on the ones that I obviously received, but there is a whole host of other fragrances that are coming out. So you, in addition to the ones that I'm sharing here, you're getting Scarecrow, Sleepy Hollow, Witch's Cauldron, Witching Hour. There's several more. In terms of the 3-wick scents, there is a Trick or Treat fragrance, Hollowed Ground, Forbidden Forest, Thriller, Pumpkin Smash, as well as Black Cats and Bats. The 3-wicks have really sweet and cute designs on them. I think those are going to be quite popular. But yeah, please let me know what you are most excited about picking up for Halloween this year from Kringle. I know that many of you are really looking forward to this, so let me know down below in the comments what you are most looking forward to. Let me know if any of these that I shared appeal to you at all, or if you're surprised by any of these fragrance notes in terms of how they paired the notes with the different labels. So overall, I'm giving this Halloween from Kringle 2 thumbs up, just based off of what I received here as PR. I really do appreciate Kringle sending these out to me, especially since I'm not a huge Halloween person myself, but I've really actually enjoyed reviewing these for you guys. And stay tuned for next week, because we are going back into Melanie's, I guess, comfort zone, I guess you could say, because we are going to be talking about all of the fall scents that were released from Kringle. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting my channel. It really means the world to me. If you're new, I would love it if you would take the time to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm gods, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.